Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Missed you. Sorry about not being in touch yesterday. I had a day of overwhelm yesterday. I hit a threshold, and my mind started thinking about all the things that were about to happen. I'm about 12 days away from leaving, and there are just all of a sudden all these things that came to my mind in the moment that needed to be done, and I just went into that place, that place where we start to wonder, what is it we're doing? How are we going to do it? How is it possible? This journey of the unknown and not planning and not knowing any step of the way is very different for me, as it might be a different journey for you. And all of a sudden, all of this pressure and unknown and, oh goodness, the weight of something just felt so huge. And knowing what I know, I knew that it was not a moment to get busy. It was not a moment to deny it, to run away from it, to try to fix it or solve it. It was a moment to really be in it. And I could feel it beginning on Sunday. And by Monday morning, it was full-fledged. It was just this place of feeling it entirely in my body of, oh my goodness, Simi, what in the world are you doing? You're about to leave for a year. You're about to put your whole life into 31 feet of space that's about 7 feet wide. You're taking your kids out of school. You have got these places lined up, and you've committed to putting on this so-called one-woman show, and even that you're not supposed to plan. You're just supposed to show up and let something flow. Who does that? Who does that? Who trusts? Can I trust that much? Can I truly trust that much? And it's so interesting how when you're in a place, something perfect comes. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to get rid of the overwhelm. You have to still go through that. You can't go around it or over it. You have to go through it. But yesterday I received an email from the country of Norway. It was by a woman named Hannah. And she was out on a walk with her little baby boy, a beautiful baby boy. She sent me a picture. And she introduced herself, and she said that she was walking and listening to this song by Olivia Newton-John called Let Go and Let God. And in that moment, she happened to look at her watch, and it was 11:11, and immediately my face popped into her mind. And as she smiled and thought of me, a bus drove by, and on the bus, it was bus number 111. And so in that moment, she knew she had to write me. Look how interconnected we are. That I'm in my overwhelm, and a woman across the world is listening to a song, a divine song. And she receives the signs, the symbols, and the download to email me. Who says we're not all angels to one another? That we're all not connected, that this isn't all oneness? Because that's exactly what it is. And so I can tell you that I am still moving through my place of overwhelm. But on this day, I need to reveal a mask that has been up for a long time. And it is a mask that has caused me a lot of shame for a long time. It's one that I have tried to reveal in the past to a few certain close people that I thought were close. And when I did, what happened is they turned away or they walked away because of the way the world sometimes works. And so I feel in this moment that for me to move into my unknown, I have to shed the last mask that I feel that I wear. And I shed this so that I can step beyond these limits. so that it serves you in some way if you're sitting in some place of shame or you're dealing with this very same issue. When I began everything 7 years ago and was downloaded with 1111 magazine and given the vision of everything that I was supposed to do in the coming years, I dove right into it because I was in such a deep place of pain emotionally with things that I was experiencing in my life that I didn't really think about anything other than serving, healing, growing, sharing, connecting, loving. And so I created everything in that way. And although I was going through difficult experiences in my marriage, I was in a marriage that provided from the outside all that was secure. I had the big house, the successful husband, the ability to have left my career and venture into this new unknown that was 1111. And honestly, I didn't think about making money. I didn't worry about making money. And I spent a lot of money. I spent a lot of his money getting this out there. And I set it up as a business, so there came moments where we had to refinance something, or he would get a loan for his business, or there would be something that we would have to go to the bank for. And I think some of the most shameful moments that I experienced were sitting in that banker's office, because he would look at me and say, "What's this business that you have? It doesn't make any money. It's in the red and just keeps draining money. And what is it that you're doing, and why? You need to shut it down because it's affecting your ability in the world of money." And I remember getting so angry inside and saying, why does money have to be the measurement? Why, don't you realize that there are other ways of creating abundance in the world? There are other ways of touching people. But we have those measurements, don't we? Someone that serves or loves or gives is not considered as valuable as a tangible product or service or something that supposedly has value in the world. And I would walk away from those meetings feeling so ashamed. And it built within my husband's mind this idea that, what are you doing? Why don't you do something that's meaningful? But I continued. And it got to such a point that I actually thought, well, maybe I should try to go and figure out a way to sustain this. I don't want to spend any more money, and I need to allow it to take care of itself and grow itself. And so I went and found an expert that knew about business strategy and magazines and online strategy, and started, just having a few meetings with her. And she said to me, you've made the biggest mistake that anyone could make, and I don't know that you can fix it. And I said, what's that? And she said, from day one, you were just content rich. You just give away everything, and you share completely, and you just pour out the wisdom. People know that you're going to give it to them for free. Why would they pay for it? They don't need to pay for it. So you have sabotaged yourself. If you want to make it in the world, you need to learn how to string people along. You need to know how to make their mouths water by giving them just enough that they want more. And then you can go in there and you sell them something. And then you sell them something else. And then you sell them something else. And you keep increasing the pricing of what you're selling so that they're more and more drawn to you. All I know is I felt icky after that conversation. I couldn't do it. That's not who I am. I spent 30 years in the retail industry. And I was the one that was on the floor, and I was the one that was selling. And what I know is I loved serving. I loved assisting people and making them feel good. And when I gave them something, I gave it because I believed it was for the best for them, and I would teach them something. I did not sell. I couldn't stand selling. And I'm not about to sell anything now. So I want you to know I'm not a salesperson. And I have nothing here to sell you. I have nothing here to create a bunch of hype. I'm not going to tell you that something costs one thing and then give you all of a sudden a deal that it's going to cost something else. I'm not going to manipulate you. I'm not going to dumb it down. I'm not going to involve myself in any of the trickery that unfortunately a lot of our world has turned into. I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. I'm going to love, I'm going to serve, I'm going to share, and I'm going to connect. And I'm going to let go and let God. And let the pieces fall where they may. What I am going to do, though, is ask for help for the first time in my life. I think I'm in the place of willing to receive that. Now that I'm on my own and have left all of that security and all of that I had once as my life, I am a single mom with 2 kids. And although in this moment I'm not really worried about how to sustain because there's a bigger mission that's going on here, what I am realizing is that I have to create some things that allow what I'm doing to be something more. And so I'm going to let you know what those are in the coming weeks as I figure out a new way. And all I ask is that you don't view this as charity, that you view this as an equal giving and receiving, and that when I have something to offer, I'm not selling it to you, I'm offering it. And if it serves you, if you feel like you will find value in it, then I ask that you allow yourself to value you enough to have it and have us connect in that way. Right now what I have are Rebel Road tickets. I have some CDs, I have some things on my website, and I'll be creating more. And I'm just simply coming out and saying I ask for your support. And I'm no longer ashamed of just serving and giving it all away, or being in the red in my bank account, because I am so much more wealthy than so many people that have a bunch of zeros at the end of their bank account. In love, of love, and with love. As you find yourself in your places of overwhelm or challenge and obstacle, just be with it. Don't try to fix it. Don't try to deny it. Be real with it. Be open to it and open about it. It's time for us to be real. It's time for us to be the examples. It's time for us to connect hearts and voices, souls, and oneness. In love, of love, and with love, I'm Simran Singh. Be well.